Shalom, 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 Israel. How about you, Barakatah? Shalom.
Shalom, shalom. Shalom, Israel. How about Shemiel Shabbat? What it do?
Shalom. We apologize for the delay tonight. We are having some technical difficulties with another one of our soldiers. Hopefully, he's able to get that fixed and sorry. Hopefully, he's able to get that fixed and is able to actually join us tonight. So again, we do apologize for the delay. We were trying to get something pieced together and done, but that's our fault. You're enjoying your day. We hope you're enjoying your week. You know what I'm saying? Getting prepared for the Sabbath. As we are, we got another powerful lesson today. Great lesson from our brother Yahweh. He's been kind of putting in some legwork for the past couple of weeks. So he can give him some time to just spend with his family. He's just been going ahead and doing some extra work so he can enjoy his little time with his family. I want to personally thank the brother for the work he's been doing and for the edification I've been learning, and I hope that Israel has been learning. So, brother, go ahead, take over.
The water. Just a blessing, though. I'm nobody. I'm grateful the Most High woke up to this truth, and I enjoy doing it. So sometimes it don't even feel like work. So the name of the lesson is going to be called Serving Our Enemies. What you're going to need is a pen, a pad, of course your Bible. I need a highlighter. Oh, Edwin, you hearing the echo?
I don't hear it. You hear it?
See, now I don't hear it. All right. I don't know, that's weird. But yeah, for this lesson, you're gonna need your pen, pad, highlighter, and a Bible. And an attentive ear. We're gonna get into some things, and I'm gonna try to help y'all see the practicality of the battle that we're facing since we in the land of our enemies. All right. So let's get to it. All right. So first, we're gonna start off with the curse of Deuteronomy 28 and 48. Edwin, could you go ahead and read that?
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger and in thirst, and in nakedness, and in want of all things. Put a yoke of iron upon thy neck, until he have destroyed thee.
So it says, therefore we shall serve our enemies, which the Lord is going to send against us, in hunger. So whenever we get hungry, we have to go to our enemies. Whenever we thirsty, we have to go to our enemies. For clothes, we have to go to our enemies, not our friends, our ops. And in want of all things. So if you need a driver's license, birth certificate, death certificate, any of that. And one of these same enemies is going to be the one to put a yoke of iron on your neck. So if y'all seen the lesson last week, and I had a little side note to Google yoke of iron, it's the first thing you're going to see. You're going to see us, or the pictures of us, as well as pictures of us with yokes of iron on our necks. Mm-hmm. All right. Now, who are our enemies? Grab that Psalms 83 and 2 through 8.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 83, verse 2. For lo, thy enemies make a tumult, and they have hate. And they that hate thee have lifted up the head.
So a tumult is like a pact, if you will. So they come together, they made a pact, and they begin to lift up the head, meaning they begin to get prideful or confident. All right, keep going.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones.
So they taking crafty counsel. They look for ways and they search out iniquities. And the inward thought of every one of them is deep, like it says in Psalm 64:6. So they're searching out every kind of way that they can get us to fall off. All right, keep going.
They have said, come, and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
So their whole purpose for doing all this was to keep us from knowing that we're the real children of Israel and cut us off from realizing who we are. Because if we know that we're the children of Israel, then we have to realize that we still have laws as a people. Laws that we would have as a people would be found in the Torah, in the first 5 books of Moses. And if we know that we have to follow these laws, or we do follow these laws, our God will always be with us. He won't forsake us because we didn't forsake him.
Yeah.
And then he'll fight for us. Could you grab that Judah 5:17-21?
This is the book of Judah, chapter 5, verse 17. And whilst they sinned not before their God, they prospered, because the God that hateth iniquity was with them.
Mm-hmm.
But when they depart,
oh no, you good. So while we sin not, the God that hated willful sin or iniquity was with us. Keep going.
But when they departed from the way which he appointed them, they were destroyed in many battles very sore, and were led captives.
Keep going.
And were led captives into a land that was not theirs.
So every time we fell off, Most High took us, or he took his hand off us and let another nation come and possess us or enslave us. He said he would punish us 7 times for our iniquities. It's our 7th captivity, if I'm counting right. We had Egypt, we had Assyria, Babylon, we had Persia, Greece, Rome, America. I mean, you can't make that up. Keep going.
So right here.
You good?
And the temple of their God was cast to the ground, and their cities were taken by the enemies.
So that's exactly like what happened with the Babylonian captivity. Because what did the Edomites help the Babylonians do? They said, race it, even to the foundation thereof. And when you read First Ezra chapter 4 and verse 45, it tells you that they burned our temples. So they destroyed all of that in order to cut us off from being a nation. Keep going.
But now are they returned to their God, and are come up from the places where they were scattered, and have possessed Jerusalem, where their sanctuary is, and are seated in the hill country, for it was desolate.
This is where we're at now, and this is what they're worried about. So they're trying to do everything they can to stop us, even if it means causing division between, doing what they can by placing agents in each camp to cause division amongst each camp, to keep us from coming back together as that nation that's not desired. Because if we come back together as that nation that's not desired, even if we have differences, Most High will send Yahweh back. He'll come and get us once we turn away from our iniquity and we know how to function as a nation. Keep reading.
Now, therefore, my Lord and Governor, if there be any error in this people, and they sin against their God, let us consider that this shall be their ruin, and let us go up, and we shall overcome them.
So it's a reiteration of what was in verses 17 and 18. If there is any error or any sin within our nation, they can still keep doing what they want to do. They can still keep ruling over us. Can you read that verse 21?
Verse 21. But if there be no iniquity in their nation, let my Lord now pass by, lest their Lord defend them, and their God before them, and we become a reproach before all the world.
This is what they fear. They don't want us to get back together because they know once we get back together and there's no sin in our nation, they get devoured. All they that devoured us will get devoured, as it is written in Jeremiah 30. All right, so back to Psalms 83 and 2 through 8. So now that we see what that crafty counsel is a little bit more in depth, let's see who these nations are that's taking crafty counsel against us. Can you read verse 6 in Psalms 83?
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 83, verse 6.
Or verse 5, Salaki.
Verse 5. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee.
So they know as long as they can fight all they want, but at the end of the day, they know that we're still their number one op at the end of the day. They don't like us. They hate us. Doesn't matter which nation it is, they will continue to hate us because how they see it, they're in power and they get to do whatever they want. So long as we're at the bottom. Keep going.
The tabernacles of Edom and the Ishmaelites and the Hagarenes.
Keep going.
Gabal and Ammon and Amalek. The Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre.
Keep going.
Asher also is joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot. Selah.
So you look at Edom, the Ishmaelites, and Moab. Edom, of course, is the ringleader of this whole thing. And he would be our number one op. So we're finna go through and we're finna look at who these particular nations are today. All right, so you have Esau, who's the Caucasians. You have Ishmaelite, that's the Arabs. You have Moab, which is the mainland Asian/Chinese. From my research and from what I found, the Hagarenes are the Arabians that inhabit Egypt today, that identify as sons or followers of Hagar, but they somehow distinguish themselves from being Ishmaelites themselves, which is strange because Hagar's only known son was Ishmael. And you have Gabal, which we found to be the Lebanese, which is like still, it's around the area of Edom, but it's also still considered kind of the land of Canaan in a sense. Then you have Ammon, which is the so-called Japanese. You have Amalek, which is the fake Jews, the Kagans, Khans, Khazars, same people. You have the Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre, which are the Palestinians, the so-called Watutsis in Rwanda and Uganda, and you have the Canaanites, the South Africans. Because when you look at the Philistines, even back in the old time, Goliath was a Philistine. And when you look at the Philistines, they come from the Philistim, which are the children of Matzazarium or Mizraim or Egypt. So then we have Ashur or the Assyrians. He's the forefather of the Assyrians. All right. So now let's look at how we serve Esau, Edom in America. Because they make the laws of the land. And America has like 30,000 laws at least. So when we say it's hard for us to keep them 613 laws, we really kind of making excuses, making a cover, sewing fig leaves together. All right. So anytime you need a certification, you have to go to Esau. They own the major corporations, banks. They own the restaurants, franchises. They own the malls and stores in the malls. And they tax everything. And anything they can't tax is illegal. They own the majority of the sports teams and even mock us with the names of these sports teams. We're going to get into that in a second. Because yeah, we definitely finna look at that. But just think about it. Like Esau can lock you up or give you a citation or whatever for jaywalking. Think about that. If you need your driver's license, birth certificate, death certificate, uh, if you decide you want to open up a bar, you have to get a food permit, a liquor license. You have to get all of that. If you want to own, they own these major corporations. They own Walmart. Even this I work for is owned by Esau. They own the Federal Reserve. They own Bank of America. They own all these insurance companies. It's not called Wachovia anymore. Jeez, Wells Fargo, Salaki. I'm just saying, think about that. All right, so we can see more of the visuals because, of course, Israel required for sign. So you got McDonald's. That is the Fulton County Courthouse in the top middle, and that is the Federal Reserve. I don't know if y'all can see that well, but right in the middle, that thing that's poking out is actually an eagle. So for all those that say that Esau is the so-called Arabs, for whatever reason, why is it that the Federal Reserve, which is owned by the so-called Rothschild family, so-called Jews, so-called Europeans, why do they have an eagle at the top of their building that Esau is the only person in the Bible that's known to like himself as the eagle? Think about that. Then this is the mall, of course. That's Cumberland Mall for those of y'all that live in Atlanta. Now we have Esau's mockery of the sports teams in the NFL. All right, so we have the Redskins, which is a derogatory term towards Native Americans when we know who the real red people of the earth are. The 49ers. Which chapter in Genesis do we use to tell where the tribes are today? The Saints. Now we know the Saints are the Israelites pursuant to Psalms 50 and 5 and Psalms 148:14. But the fleur de lis was what they branded the slaves with. And that's the saint. That's that symbol that y'all see for the saints. The thing that look kind of like a flower. Or you don't even know what it is. You just know it's the symbol for the Saints team. That's what they used to actually brand the slaves with. But now today they have a team called the Saints. Coincidence? Nah, it can't be. It can't be. All right, so you got the Lions. That's the crest of the tribe of Judah. You got the Cowboys. The original Cowboys were so-called blacks, Latinos, and natives. For those of y'all that didn't know that. You got the Chiefs, which is more mockery of the native tribes. You got the Rams, which is mockery of the lost sheep because a ram is a male sheep. Right. So you got the Jaguars. Now, interesting thing about the Jaguar is the Northern Kingdom equivalent to the lion in the Southern Kingdom. And when you look in the Maya, Inca, and Aztec culture, the jaguar they say it's the second most important deity to who they call the serpent god, which is supposed to be Quetzalcoatl, which is a representation of Christ. If you understand that breakdown between Isaiah 6 and 1 through 6, right? So there's just some things to look at. But also when you look at the jaguar, if you look at the Black Panther and the jaguar, when you look it up, there's no difference between the two animals. The only difference is a color variation. Now, think about this for a second. The Jaguars are significant to the Northern Kingdom. And we had a group called the Black Panthers. We had a civil rights militia group called the Black Panthers that Judah started. So if you be spiritual and you look at this with spiritual eyes, you could sit there and you can see the similarity and say, hey, there's no difference between the two. Because they're my brother.
Khan.
Just something to think about.
Shalakia.
Khan.
You see how the Black Panthers still got the spots. They got the little word for not hallucinogenic or whatever, but I can't think of the word. But like you got to get real close up on the Black Panther to see them same spots as the Jaguar guy. You know what I'm saying?
Con. Now I know exactly what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
But no, that's a fact. Ain't too many people finna get too close to a Black Panther though. They not.
Right.
All right. So now we can see how we. All right. So let's look at how we serving Ishmael. Ishmael owns the gas stations that we go and pay for the gasoline to fuel our cars, so we can continue going to spend our money with Esau. We can go continue to go and work for Esau. They also are still enslaving us in the Middle East, as well as if y'all look at the Libyan slave trade, they want y'all to think that those are Arabs enslaving Africans or even Africans enslaving Africans. But it's some brothers it's some Jake that I played, that I went to school with that played football for our high school that looked exactly like some of them brothers. I'm talking about could literally be one of their brothers or one of their twins.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I'm just saying, pay attention. It's the sub-Saharan slave trade officially ended in 1960 after John F. Kennedy supposedly signed a bill, but it's actually still in effect today, and you can see it.
Right.
You had something you want to say, Adawan?
No, I was just gonna say that particular slave trade never, like you just brought out, it never ended. It never really stopped. I mean, they signed legislation on it, but it never really stopped. It still persists today. So much so to a point where you can actually talk to people from certain regions and they'll tell you they don't even travel into those lands because they know the hazard of being found out or being looked at in a certain way, and you may never come home. So that part has never stopped. We like to romanticize a little bit about the Atlantic slave trade because it's so prevalent for us, but for them, the Atlantic slave trade is a drop in the bucket. To them, they've never stopped going through that persecution. Period.
And you have a lot of us that's still going through that same slave trade. Right. So next time y'all see some black people or whatever, or some so-called black people, y'all think we had it bad over here? They had it bad too, because Ishmael was castrating the slaves.
Salakia.
Go ahead.
And it's crazy you say that because we follow you remember when Obama came in office and all that, and we was thinking Obama was for us, not knowing he a Hamite, he Hamitic, you know what I'm saying? And then you even go as far as the Ishmaelite Muammar Gaddafi, he thought Obama was gonna back him up, but America signed off, Hillary and Obama signed off on killing Muammar Gaddafi, right? And after they killed Muammar Gaddafi, that's when all the people rose up, you know what I'm saying, and started reiterate that they hatred towards us, going back to your Psalm 83, you know what I'm saying, and start putting the remnants of Israel that was over there on the land, start putting them back in slavery and enforcing it, you know what I'm saying? So like that's just heavy how it just keep rotating and coming back around and around, you know what I'm saying?
Like every time. Salakia, my bad. I didn't mean to cut you off.
My bad. Go ahead, King.
Nah, it was like what's that Edomite? Al Pacino, what did he say? Every time I think I'm out, they pull me back in.
God.
All right, so we can see how we're serving Ishmael. We go to the 7-Eleven, we go to the Shell gas station, we go to the Marathon, or we go to the Exxon. And he gonna sell you blunts, he gonna sell you pig feet, pickle pig feet, ball peanuts, dusty candy. He gonna sell you all of it.
That's just good damn. He gonna give you all the pork, but he ain't gonna eat it though. But he gonna give it to you.
That's a whole nother topic for a whole nother day. Nah, we got cause don't get me started on that. But serving Moab. So Moab owns the textiles and sweatshops that make majority of our clothes and our shoes. While most of our clothes are made in China. Look on your tag, see if it say made in China. About 6 times out of 10 it does. We eat at the restaurants. We'll go and eat that mango beef rib or that orange dog that they call orange chicken.
Or that rat.
Or y'all want that egg foo young with a side of that cat.
You
But
know,
we
they say
also
that
like
rat, that's the other white meat, Salakis.
right. Nah, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, you know, they say the rat, that's the other white meat. Did you see the video when they was taking the Moabite woman she was catching the mice out the cage and folding the back leg up, dropping them in hot water, folding the back leg up, throwing them in the frying pan.
Nah, I ain't see that one. I do know they like eat bats and
That's
rats,
a good thing.
all types of stuff, and they like them with their chopsticks. Then of course they got the kung fu movies too. So
right.
Yeah. So now, of course, for the older crowd, I had to pick something old school, so I know y'all can relate. The 36 Chamber of Shaolin. Then we got the nail salon. Then you see this, it says an American company, package and product and design in the USA, but made in China. So then you got Bruce Lee, of course, and then you got the new China Buffet and Grill, where you can get your mango beef cat with a side of with 2
Mango
egg
beef.
rolls on the side,
Right.
3 fortune cookies, and with a little bit of egg.
Bean sprouts.
Right. So now we gotta serve an Ammon. Because we're not gonna touch on the Hagarees and the ball. They're not as important. We focus mainly on over here because this is where we can actually relate. So serving Ammon, they created the video games. We've been playing the mess out of video games, not even reading our Bible. Every time a new game system come out, don't act like some of y'all don't get caught up, and some of y'all probably on y'all PS5 right now.
Stop playing free.
Yeah, I know about you. So now they created the video games, the Atari, the Sony Interactive Entertainment, of course, y'all know y'all done got the PlayStation, all the PlayStations from 1 to 5. You got the Nintendo, you had the Super Nintendo, the gray one that had the gun attached to it that used to go duck hunting.
Hey
Come
man,
on. Come on now.
You can't clown duck hunting, bro. It's a classic.
Oh no, I'm not.
You can't do that.
I'm not gonna sit there and act like I'm oblivious. I've been affected by these curses too, so I can talk about it.
Otherwise, say you ain't gonna clown the duck hunting.
No, not at all. Either
Super Mario Brothers 3.
Right, over the Nintendo 64, where they had the Super Mario 64, Mario Kart, Super Smash Brothers, Banjo Kazooie,
right,
Star Fox. Come on now.
God.
So even they had the Sega. You had the Sega, and you had the Sega Dreamcast. You had the Sega Genesis.
Yeah.
Come on with the
Go ahead.
Mortal Kombat.
You walking?
You said what?
I say we walking. I'm walking down memory lane with you. I'm with you.
Right. So of course we played Sonic, Mortal Kombat, all of that growing up. And then of course with the anime TV, you had all the Dragon Ball shows. You had Dragon Ball Z, GT, Super, Kai, all of that. We got Naruto, Rurouni Kenshin, for those of y'all that might be a little bit older. If y'all remember that, you got Bleach, you got Lupin the Third, you had Gundam, you had Inuyasha, you had all of them.
Hey, look.
Go ahead.
These my shorties right here. These my shorty little joints. You see them?
Piccolo.
Hold on.
Trying to see. These are my shorty's toys. You see them?
Yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? He got a bunch of them all around here. He Dragon Ball Z crazy.
See, prime example. That's showing y'all right there.
He Dragon Ball Z crazy.
Fuck it, y'all. But yeah. So of course we got the Sega Dreamcast in the top right. We got the Atari in the top left. We got the Nintendo in the bottom left, and the Sega Genesis right there. If I'm not mistaken, it look like Sonic the Hedgehog. Just tell them about what game that is. Cartridge.
Look like Sonic.
That's it.
That look like Sonic. Yeah, kind.
I remember what it was like. You had to get them 50 rings and get you get Supersonic.
Right.
You get all the Chaos Emeralds. Come on now.
That's right.
All right, and then you had of course, we got the anime TV shows. You see Dragon Ball Z, Naruto, Bleach, Yu-Gi-Oh, Digimon, Pokemon. Don't act like y'all weren't playing the Pokemon with the Game Boys back in the day.
Facts. Facts. Pokemon Watch early.
They ain't do that.
And you got the Sailor Moon, you got the Gundam. It's a couple of these shows. Then you had Bleach, Naruto, One Piece.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, how could you not talk about Dragon Ball Z? But so now you also have serving Amalek. Let's see how we were serving Amalek because they own the music industry, right? The same hip hop music industry that the fake Jews using the real Jews to destroy the entire world through music, right? Because that's part of Judah's guilt. Can one of y'all pull that Deuteronomy 33?
Yep. Deuteronomy 33 and what? What you want?
I want Deuteronomy 33 and 7.
Everybody say kind when you get there.
Okay.
And this is the blessing of Judah. And he said, hear Yahweh unto his Salaki. He said, hear the voice of Judah and bring him into his people. Let his hands be sufficient for him, and be thou in help to him from his enemies.
So it said, hear Lord the voice of Judah. Most High gave Judah the gift of Gad. Most High gave Judah the ability to be musically inclined. That's why when you look at the book of Psalms, David wrote the vast majority of the book of Psalms. If it wasn't David, it was Asaph. Even Solomon had some of them songs. Solomon wrote 1,000 songs or 1,005 songs. Lucky. I'm just saying, think about it. So Judah is the head tribe. They gifted musically inclined, and we think it's a coincidence that hip hop R&B is the #1 genre of music today.
I mean, to be honest, when you talk about the music industry, you got to go all the way back because there isn't a single genre of music that we didn't create and start, and they've been exploiting us throughout all of it. You can go back. You go back to blues. Blues created jazz. Jazz created rock and roll. When you go back to blues, we created blues. We evolved into jazz. You know what I'm saying? That's why the biggest jazz names are black figures. Louis Gillespie and guys of that nature. All right, even up until today. You know what I'm saying? It just evolved and we took it to different instruments and we just evolved it. Then you head into rock and roll, which was kind of like bringing back a little bit of the soul from blues, the way we played it. It wasn't that heavy metal stuff that you hear right now. You know what I'm saying? The way we played it was different. It was soulful. The guitar matched the lead singer. You know what I'm saying? They might have dueled in the song, but who can hit the best note? You know what I'm saying? That's the way we played it. But as time evolved, Amalek got hip to it. He got wise to getting ahead of the trends. So he started going into the urban parts of the city. Started going into the ghettos, what was popular in the ghettos, and then highlighting what we thought was popular and getting ahead of it and getting paid to highlight it. He used us to transform fashion. He used us to transform the way media is presented. He used us to transform the music and the movie industry. He used us to do that. You know what I'm saying? Going into the inner city and basically playing spy, which is what he does best.
I can play spy. I can convince you to teach me all your ways, and then I can make profit off of that. Hence, a guy like Eminem, MGK. You get those guys out of there, you know what I'm saying? And we celebrate them as a people, like, oh, look at this one white boy that can rap. Yo, you got other Negroes standing right next to you that's better than him, but they're not gonna get no shot. Period. So, you know what I'm saying? Amalek good for this. We've been serving Amalek in different ways. Oh, and Amalek, it says the bottom on the jewel industry. Let me help y'all understand something. Amalek don't just own the banking and the jewelry side of it over here. He owned the mines in Africa. He on both sides of this. He not just here. He on both sides of this. Right? That's something that you got to understand about Amalek. Amalek been around us. He has our customs. He has our ways. So he knows us better than any other nation. And breaking us down as a nation is what everybody else goes to him for. Because if you want to control the Israelites in your community or in your nation, you got to first go to the people who know how to control them worldwide. I yield the floor. My bad. Go ahead, King.
You did that. You said, hey, you did that.
I'm from St. Louis. I'm from the home of Chuck Berry. You know what I'm saying? The inventor of rock and roll. You know what I'm saying? We got a mural right on the west side. I actually was cool with Chuck Berry's granddaughter. You know what I'm saying? His son had a house down the street from me at one point in time in one of the areas I lived in out here. You know what I'm saying? It was populated with our people, but he had one of the biggest houses on the community, though. You know what I'm saying? So like we definitely we pay a lot of homage and show a lot of respect to that elder. You know what I'm saying? Around here.
That's beautiful. Y'all brothers making some good points. I'm liking what y'all doing. Because I want to say this if it ain't the last slide, it's second to the last. I ain't gonna keep y'all all night. But yeah, so of course Amalek also owns 90% of the media too. So anything that's outside of that 90% is called alternative media. They own the porn industry, which if you really go into what the Greek word for fornication is porneia. So it's like that's really where they get the word porn from. Is an industry full of fornication.
Yep.
And then on top of that, they're the ruling class in this land. Like Esau is the ruling class, but they like the prime Edomites, if you will. And on top of that, they claiming to be us. So they get an average of $9.5 billion a year from America on average. Just to be us, to claim they us. Yet the IRS is gonna hunt your ass down if you forget to pay them taxes. See what happened to Wesley Snipes and a slew of other brothers. So we paying taxes. We paying taxes to folks that's impersonating us. But identity theft is illegal in this country. Like you see the hypocrisy? Got to. Right. So let's get the visuals. Now, this is the tall Israeli that's running the rap game. If y'all know that, if y'all familiar with that Most Def lyric. Or that Prodigy lyrics, like it. And then of course you see Ludacris, you see Big Tigger, and I don't know who Buddy on the right is. But on the left, this is Leo Cohen. He's supposed to be one of the Cohens, the priest. I know Levi feel the type of way about that. And then you have the 6 major conglomerates that are actually shown that own pretty much every channel that comes on TV. And then you have Uncut Gem. That's Adam Sandler, who's a so-called Jew. But this is a scene from the movie Uncut Gems that was actually paying homage to the Jews that run the Diamond District. So it's just something to think about. That's the end of the presentation for real. That's the end of the PowerPoint. But
so like I got a whenever you have a time. I ain't trying to cut you off.
Nah, go ahead. Break it up.
I want to bring out that 1 Samuel 15 and 1 through what the Amalekites that said again. I'm gonna start off just one, you know what I'm saying? Where it say let me know when you got it.
You said 1 Samuel 15 and 1?
Yeah, let me start back.
Huh. How about yourself, Colin?
You good?
Colin.
Yeah.
Okay, kind. So Samuel said unto Saul, the Lord sent me to anoint thee to be king over the people of Yasharallah. Now therefore, hearken thou unto the voice of the words of Yahweh. Thus said the Lord of hosts, I remember that which Amalek did to Israel, how he laid wait for him in the way when he came up from Egypt. Now go and smite Amalek and utterly destroy all they have, and spare them not, but slay both man and woman, infant and suckling ox and sheep, camel and ass. And Saul gathered the people together and numbered them in Talion 200,000 footmen and 10,000 men of Judah. Saul came to the city Amalek and laid him wait in the valley, and Saul said unto Kenites, go depart, get you down from among the Amalekites, lest I destroy you with them, for ye show kindness to all the children of Israel when they came up out of Egypt, so that the Kenites departed from among the Amalekites. And Saul smote the Amalekites and Havilah until thou comest to Shur that is over against Egypt. And he took Agag, the king of the Amalekites, alive, being disobedient, alive, and utterly destroyed all the people with the edge of the sword. But Saul and the people spared Agag, being disobedient, and the best of the sheep, of the oxen, and of the fatlings of the lambs, and all that was good, and would not utterly destroy them, disobedient. But everything that was vile and refused, that they destroyed utterly. Then came the word of the Lord
Hold
unto
on. Salaki.
going too
All right,
fast.
no, you good. So right there, you see, because of Saul's disobedience, the Amalekites were survived by King Agag. King Agag is the father of the Agagites, from who Hammedatha and Haman actually come from. And we just celebrated Purim last week, so y'all should know who these people are. You've been paying attention. Now, these are the same Edomites that ended up getting called Macedonians. And who comes from the Macedonians? The Greeks. Or Alexander the Greek, freak, and his father. So because of Saul's disobedience, they enslaved us back then, and they're enslaving us now. So just saying, that was a good precept.
My bad, I ain't gonna go so long, but yeah.
No, you good. I'm glad you actually brought that out, because that was that's an interesting point. Somebody might not have known that, but still, with that being said, because Saul didn't kill them, now these are the prime people who are assuming our identity, and now they getting money that we actually have to pay, so that they can keep living the lavish lifestyle that they live in.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? But we
and
gonna get go ahead.
But you gotta remember, even from Saul's disobedience, he could have been king over Israel for thousands of generations through his bloodline. The most High spanked him, man. He spanked him, you know what I'm saying? And he lost everything, you know what I'm saying? From that, you know. He had because even from that disobedience, because remember, we go further in the story, he lost what, 3 other kids, 3 other sons in battle in war, you know what I'm saying? Which I'm just saying because of the disobedience that I feel back on them. You feel me?
Come.
But I ain't gonna. I yield the floor.
Oh no, you good. Can one of y'all grab Jeremiah 6:16, and then you can bring out your Zechariah 13:8-9.
You want me to bring out Zechariah 13:8-9? Come.
Hold on, just a second. We need
You said Jeremiah what?
6:16.
6 and 16? Gotcha, King. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 6, verse 16. Thus saith the Lord, stand ye in the ways and see, and ask for the old paths, where is the good way, and walk therein. And ye shall find rest for your souls. But they said, we will not walk therein.
Come. So we're supposed to seek the old path, wherein is the good way, and walk therein. Can you? Oh, you can bring out your Lamentations 4:5-6 now too.
Which one you want me to leave with? Lamentations or Zechariah?
Leave with Lamentations 4:5-6.
All right, I go to Lamentations again. All right, Lamentations 4, verse 5-6.
Bring it up.
They that did feed delicately or desolate in the streets.
Mm-hmm.
They that brought up in scarlet embrace dunghills, for the punishment of iniquity of the daughter of my people is greater than the punishment of the sin of Sodom that was overthrown as in a moment, and no hand stayed on her.
Hold on, Salaki. It said, they that did feed delicately are desolate in the streets, and they that were brought up in scarlet embrace dunghills. Most High said we embrace some bullshit. Said I had y'all decked out. Y'all were in royalty.
Yeah, we tweaking.
And now y'all love this bullshit.
Don't we love ignorant? We love to be ignorant.
That's the thing. Jake love a show.
Out here in these streets, cutting up.
That's crazy. All right, so now that we see what's going on with our people, we know we need to walk in the old path. Let's see what's gonna come by that. All right, can you go through Zechariah chapter 13:8-9?
Kind. Let me know when you're there.
Because it's not an easy walk. The commandments of the Lord are not grievous, but it's walking in me.
That's right. You're the one.
God.
And it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith the Lord, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the third shall be left therein. And I will bring the third part through the fire, and will refine them as silver is refined, and will try them as gold is tried. They shall call on my name, and I will hear them. I will say, it is my people, and they shall say, the Lord is my God.
So that fire is both literal and spiritual. You have to go through tribulations and trials with your family in this walk. What's the scripture? It says, if thou, my son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare for much temptation. That's Sirach chapter 2:1.
Mm-hmm.
But it also says, when you jump down to verse 5, as gold is tried in the fire and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. So you got to get those impurities out of you. You got to get rid of that sin that you're going through.
Mm-hmm.
And the 2/3, they're not even going to care about it. They're not. They're going to keep doing what they're doing. They're going to live their life like it's golden. In Babylon's golden cup. It's exactly what they're gonna do. And, so let's see what we trying to get to. Can you read Luke chapter 1 and 68 through 71? We got a couple more scriptures and we're gonna call it a night, y'all. Or we're gonna open the floor for a little Q&A if anybody has any questions, and if not, I'm not finna keep y'all.
Everybody got to say kind.
You can bring it up.
Blessed be the Lord God of Yasharala, for he hath visited and redeemed his people, and hath raised up a horn of salvation for us in the house of his servant David, as he spake by mouth of his holy prophets, which have been since the world began, that we should be saved from our enemies and from the hand of all that hate us.
This is why we're going through this walk. We're trying to get saved out of the hand of our enemies and all that hate us. Because what the Most High said, he said, I will go and return to my place until they acknowledge their offense, but in their affliction they'll seek me early. That's Hosea 5:15.
Straight like that.
We've been waiting on him to send Christ back, and he waiting on us to get right.
Facts.
Shalom, nephew. Yeah. He good. I ain't gonna make him come back.
He said shalom back. He going to bed.
But I'm just saying, that's what we're looking for. All right, you go pull your Daniel 7 and 27. And Benaiah, can you grab Psalms 149, 5 through 9?
Daniel 7 and 27.
Yeah, Daniel 7 and 27.
And the kingdom and dominion and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High, whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and all dominion shall serve and obey him.
That's right.
That's right.
And can you pull out that Psalms 149, 5 through 9? It's gonna be an everlasting kingdom. They're gonna get down and they're gonna lay down. If they lay down, they're gonna stay down. That's how I go.
I got it. Psalms chapter 149, verse 5. Let the saints be joyful in glory. Let them sing aloud upon their beds. Let their high praises of God be in their mouth and a two-edged sword in their hand.
For what?
To execute vengeance upon the heathen and punishments upon the people.
That's right. That's right.
Keep going. Keep going.
Keep going.
Keep going.
To bind their kings with chains and their nobles with fetters of iron. To execute upon them the judgment written. This honor have all his saints. Praise ye Yahweh.
Hallelujah.
Call me Allah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's self-exclamatory. I don't understand how you can get around that.
That's right.
That's an end time prophecy.
Right.
I accept to that.
The saints, the saints gonna be joyful on their beds, praising the Most High, with a two-edged sword in their hand, executing vengeance and punishment.
Come on.
On the aforementioned ops. Binding their kings, binding the kings, nobles, so if we had to say, let's say for instance, that's America. Let's just say that that's who that would be talking about. So that would be the president, go to the Senate, House of Representatives, Supreme Court, government official, everybody in power.
And everybody in between.
To execute the judgment written.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, but that's just out of the Bible. You can't, hey, that Bible been around here before any of us walk this earth.
Mm.
So with that, that's the lesson. We're gonna open it up for questions. If anybody has any questions pertaining to the lesson, you're more than welcome to ask. We're gonna start off with those first.
I don't think it's gonna be too many of those tonight. It was pretty clear and cut. Let's just see.
Yeah, because there's always a scoffer.
I mean, we had one earlier, but he got quiet. So
Yeah. You give me Negro only vibes.
I don't see nothing. Don't get shot now. Everybody want to be quiet now. But then we're gonna get a bunch of emails later. Can y'all answer this question? Y'all were all is this lawful? Y'all got chances to answer now. Y'all are silent.
Shoot, if they're gonna be silent, hey, I ain't gonna sit here and
Wicked.
nah, I ain't. Every other night it'd be questions and questions and questions. I'm trying to hold my piece on that. I'm gonna hold my piece on that. But you probably it's probably a list of things that I possibly could say. You know what I want to say, but we gonna hold that down.
You want to roast feet? That's what it is.
Y'all, you see the other one right here?
Yeah, he funny.
Right, you see him?
I ain't around one. No, go to bed.
You thought you was asleep anyway.
Right. Thought you was gonna get on. It's cool though. That brother do the work.
All right. Well, I don't see nothing. Don't seem like nobody really want to go in on nothing. The water for another lesson out. Your break gonna be well deserved. I appreciate it. So since y'all don't have no questions, what I'm saying, no extra, we're gonna take us an early night. We appreciate it. We appreciate y'all tuning in. We appreciate everybody that watches even after we do this. It doesn't go unnoticed, man. We really appreciate y'all. I will just say this, y'all get prepared for Passover. It's gonna be a brilliant, beautiful time. I'm gonna tell y'all, we got some things in the works. I know on our end, a couple of other camps have some things that they're highlighting and doing. You haven't RSVP for us or somewhere else. I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what you think this is, but what I'm saying. I highly encourage that everyone try to get with a group, socialize for not socialize, but just fellowship for Passover. SOT is doing ours on March the 25th, so you can still try. I don't know if it's still open, but you can try. But as it is right now, we're fairly booked. We're fairly booked for ours. But another beautiful lesson. As y'all can tell, I'm drained. I'm tired from this week and past different things. These brothers have had an eventful week. They put in their time and their effort. We thank y'all and appreciate y'all for tuning in. So Corey, get me Romans 10:1 before we head out.
No problem, everyone. Romans 10:1. Brethren, my heart's desire and prayer to Yahweh for Yasharala is that they might be saved.
John, that is our prayer for all of Israel. With that being said, this has been another episode of Thursday Night Thunder.
And
Hey, we appreciate y'all. I'm Captain Benaiah.
Soldier Y'all War.
Soldier Azariah, the
We are the
strong
Sons of
one.
Thunder. We are the Sons of Thunder. Shalom.
Shalom.